When I think of how Revere impacts the building of the kingdom, I think of a couple of different things. Firstly, I think about how the kingdom first has to be present in all of us. It has to be in our hearts. And so if you think about education and what education tries to do in general, it's focused on the individual. It's focused on having that person help themselves first and then grow from there in terms of the concentric circles. If you say the individual is at the center, church, family, your community, businesses that you might be in, all stem from what's in a person's heart, what makes up that individual's personality. And so when I think about Revere and kingdom building, I think that's where we start. We start at the individual. The other thing that comes to my mind when I think about kingdom building and what we're trying to do with Revere gets to our 4 pillars. So our 4 pillars start with theology, and theology comes first because God is first. And so we have that first pillar of theology really informs everything that we're doing in the rest of the program. The second pillar has to do with classical learning. And so the idea here is learning about God's creation, both in terms of his physical universe, but also importantly about the people that he's made. How do people work? And so that's one of the things that we're really striving for in that pillar. The other pillars have to do with leadership. And so the third is self-leadership, being able to lead oneself. And it gets back to this idea of the concentric circles. If you lead yourself first, then you can act with others. And that gets to the 4th pillar, having to do with organizational leadership, leading others to achieve the godly goals that our students might have. Higher ed today, in many ways, is broken. We see some evidence of that. I think there are surveys out there speaking of how particularly people of faith that are brought up in a Christian home and Christian background, after they go through a college experience, they lose that. They lose the faith. That's one example. Another one would be having to do with cost. Today's university experience is very costly, and the value of that education is not as high as it once was. The piece of paper that you have at the end is not worth as much in the marketplace. Those are a couple of reasons that I wanted to get involved with something like Revere, which is to create an alternative to that.